Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today guys I'll be taking you along how to draft a 6 pieces contoured blouse. So for hers it will be having a queen Ann neckline, and the sleeve is going to be an overlap sleeve.
The shoulder measurement is 14 inches. 14 divided by 2, that is 7. The armhole circumference is also 14 inches. 14 divided by 2, that is 7. We mark out 7. The shoulder to nipple measurement is 9. The shoulder to underbust measurement is 12. The half length measurement is 15. The length of the top is 24. And we had half inches seam allowance. Mark our zip allowance. Remember that the top is having zipper by the front, and automatically that means that the shoulder measurement will change. So the zipper allowance should even be the first thing to be taken. Measurement is 7, and at the chest line measurement is 11. 11 divided by 2, that is 5.5, but we also had about half inches allowance. So at the armhole, we take our bust measurement. The bust measurement is 35. 35 divided by 4, that is 8.5 and we add 1 inch seam allowance here. Just connect the shoulder slope together. Take our nipple to nipple measurement. The nipple to nipple measurement is 7. 7 divided by 2, that is 3.5. So we'll just go ahead and mark 3.5 all the way down to the hemline. Is to contour the underbust region, and for us to do that, we'll be taking out about 1 inch here and 1 inch also at this other side. So for you to know the actual measurements you'll be taking at the underbust region, for me, mostly I determine that based on the nipple to nipple measurement. If you are working with a bust span of about nipple to nipple measurement of about 9, then you can consider using about 9. Then you can consider taking about 1/4 or 1.5 on both sides. But if you are working with a nipple to nipple of about 7 inches, 8 inches, then you can just take out 1 inch here, like the way I'm doing by the camera. 1 inch here at the underbust towards the right side, and also towards the left side you take out 1 inch here to contour the underbust. The nipple measurement here, then we'll go inward with about 1/4 inches. We mark it like this. We connect this part back to the marked out region. The next thing for us to do is to contour the upper bust. For us to contour the upper bust, remember I came up about 1 inch above the armhole region, but it's not getting to the chest line. Please, we'll take about 1/4 inches. It's not a must to take 1 inch here. You can just reduce this with about 1/4 inches. Take about 1/4 inches here. We take out 1/4 inches on this side as well. Then we come back to the nipple measurements and we go up, we go inward with about 1/2 inches. Then having done that, we'll connect the lines together. Ahead and extend this dark leg all the way to the hem of the top. Take also 1 inch at the hem here. Take 1 inch there. Then we'll connect this back to the dark leg. Put our measurements. So at the armhole, remember we took our bust measurement at the armhole, but it will definitely be reduced already because of the dart allowance here. So what we are going to do now is just to confirm it. We have about 3.25 inches here. We'll take our tape rule across the next dark leg. Then we keep measuring. So 35 divided by 4 is 8.5 then plus 1 inch seam allowance. Then we'll just mark that out. The underbust, we take the underbust circumference. The underbust circumference is 30 inches divided by 4, that is 7.5. We have about 2.5 inches here. We take tape rule across to the second dark leg. Then we'll measure 7.5. then plus 1 inch seam allowance. At the half length, we take our waist measurement. The waist measurement is 28 divided by 4, that is 7. We have about 2.5 here. come across it here, 7 inches, then plus 1 inch seam allowance. So at the end of the top, we'll be taking the hips measurement. That is because this top is getting somewhere like towards the hip region, so we'll take our hip measurement at the end of the top, so which is 40 divided by 4, that is 10. So here we have about 2.5 inches. Take our tape rule across it, we'll measure 10 plus 1 inch allowance. What we're going to do is just to connect the lines together. The lines together, remember that this particular top we are dealing with is a 6 pieces top, so by this side we'll be adding about 4 inches allowance. We'll be adding an extra 4 inches allowance depending on how you want it. You may decide to add about 5 or 6, and from this point we'll connect it back to our actual measurement. Make a kind of curve into the hemming allowance, and that is because we don't want the edge of it to be too sharp. So just like the way that appearing by the camera, we'll just connect it like a curve. I will connect it back into the hemming allowance. What we're going to work on is the neckline of the top. Then remember that this particular neckline is a Queen Anne neckline, and it's usually slimmer at the top, then gets wider as it's going beneath. I'll be using about 2 half and quarters. I won't make it up 3 inches, 2 half and quarters. Then directly on the 1 inches above the armhole region here, depending on how deep you want it to be, I'll be marking out. I'll be using the second dart leg for the measurements. That is about 4.5 inches. Then having done that, I'll connect this back to this place. At where the armhole region is, I'm going to make something like a sweetheart neckline. So in order for us to continue the back bodice measurements alongside with the front, the first thing I did is that I measured the widest part of the front pattern, which is typically around the hips region. I measured the widest part, so the width here is about 17.5. So I just went ahead and measured 17.5 and connected it as a straight line all the way back to the shoulder side, all the way to the shoulder. Then having done that, the major measurement we need for the back is the chest line, the armhole, the half length, then the hem. Bear in mind that the back does not have a zip. Our zip is going to be at the front. So the same thing we did for the shoulder of the front is a shoulder 7. We'll mark out the shoulder 7. Chest line for the back, we're using about 6.5 instead of 6 that we use for the front, because the back is more wider than the front. Then the armhole, 35 divided by 4, that is 8 half and quarters. And remember for the front also we added about 1 inch seam allowance. Just connect the shoulder slope together like the way it's appearing by the camera. Next thing I'm going to do is just to input our dart for the back. Then for the dart of the back, I'll be using 4 inches instead of 3.5 we use for the front. And I'm just going to go ahead and mark the 4 inches all the way somewhere around the armhole. Starting from the shoulder measurement, you're going to go down to about 10 inches, depending on the height of the person. If the person is very tall, you can use about 11, but for an average height, you can use 10 inches. And this is where the dart leg will be ending for the back. At the half length, we'll take 1 inches on both sides. From the half length, we are going to go downward by about 5 inches. We'll connect our dart leg back to the point. We'll mark out the same neck width we use for the front, which is about half and quarter, and we'll determine the neck depth for the back. For the back, we'll be using 1.5 inches. That also we take our shoulder slope for the back. Remember we used half and quarter for the front, we use the same thing as well for the back. Then we'll connect it like this. We is to get the midpoint of our shoulder, and this is about 4.25, so we'll have about 2 and 2.1. Then having done this, we'll connect our dart leg to the midpoint of the shoulder. Our measurement for the half length. For the half length, 28 divided by 4, that is 7. We have 3 inches before the first dark leg. Continue with the second dark leg. Measure the 7 plus 1 inches that we also added for the front. So for us to calculate the wideness at the hem, what we are going to do is we are going to go back to the front pattern and we are going to measure the wideness in which we use here. So starting after the zip allowance, we have about 2.5 here. So across the dart leg, we keep measuring. So this is 14.5. Then we just use the same measurement also right here, 14.5 inches. Connect the lines together. Very. For this side back, we are going to cut times 4 the main fabrics and the lining, making 4. The main fabric is 2 and the lining is 2, that will be 4. The center back, the center back will also be cut times 4. The main fabrics will be 2 and the lining will also be 2. For the side front will be cut times 4. The lining will be 2 and the main fabric will be 2. Then the center front will also be cut times 4. So the reason why this thing is like this is because it's a 6 pieces and it's still going to be having training all around. So the next thing for us to do now is to cut out the darts, cut out the shaded portion. We're doing now is to add allowance to it, and for us to add the allowance, so for the front I'm going to be adding 1 cm starting from where the contour of the bustier is ending. We add 1 cm like this to the arc length. Then from here we add allowance for our 6 pieces, then also for the back, just like the way it's appearing by the camera. So just like the way it appeared by the camera, starting from the shoulder line up to the half length, I added 1 cm seam allowance. That is to join both panels together at the upper part. And also for the side back, I added 1 cm seam allowance. So from the half length, we went out by about 5 inches. So the stitching is going to go like this. So also for the front, I added 1 cm seam starting from where the contour of the bustier is starting, and we added the 1 cm seam up to the half length. Then starting from the half length, we tilt it out by 5 inches for the 6 pieces and also for the center front. So the last thing we'll be working on is the sleeve, and for the sleeve I've already went ahead to draft how a basic sleeve is going to look like. So for this sleeve we'll be needing a full basic sleeve, a full block. So we'll open it like this. And having done that, we can relate that the sleeve have some sort of overlap like this at the front. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to use our French curve to curve out our desired length. So starting from here, we can go starting from the center front, we'll go outward by about 4 inches. Then we'll mark it. Starting from here, you just have to connect it back to this place like this to give us the sort of overlap. Basically how the sleeve will look like, and the sleeve is going to be a cut times 2. a cut times 4 rather, the main fabrics with the lining.